Welcome to my new series, Breaking the Code of Conspiracy. I hope you like that cheesy intro. I made it myself, including all the music. And yes, I made it cheesy on purpose. So in this series, I've tried to go about this series multiple ways. I've made videos before and then canceled them out. This is a big project that I've been putting together, a big research project, but I needed to know what the best way to put it across to people was. What's the best way to get this information out to people in a way that they can easily digest and understand and is not going to bore them to death. Now, I tried to do some videos that had clips that I was taking off the internet and things that would have been more entertaining to watch. Problem is it was taking me an extremely long time to put it together, and this is a huge project with a lot of moving parts, a lot of different programs and documents that we have to somewhat go through, skim over mainly. So at the risk of boring everybody to death by just talking into a screen, this is the best way for me to do this, is to just talk to you like podcast style, I guess. So what I'm going to do though, and if you will pay attention to this series, and I'm going to do this over a series of however many it takes, it could be quite a bit. Over the course of this series, I'm going to prove something to you. As you saw from the title, I'm going to prove global socialism. But I have found some connections between local programs, including Tabor programs, and global programs that I think are going to make you a little bit uneasy, we'll say. So, with that being said, here are some of the documents that we will be going through in this series. These are quite important, and a lot of people don't know about a lot of these. This one is quite common. Most people know what this is, but we're going to be going through this pretty heavily because it's very important to what we're going to get to. So this is the UN Agenda for Sustainable Development, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development with its 17 Sustainable Development Goals. This is a critical document to what is going on right now. It is a critical document to what is going to be going on in our future all across the world, as they explicitly state in here. It is very critical. It's very critical to our kids' futures as well. And I will be breaking this down slightly to show you how it connects to other things, including local programs such as the Meadows of Tabor. You know the Meadows, right? It's the housing project that's getting put up out by Ken McDonald with 302 lots, projected population of 831 or 931. I think it was 831. It says it all in here. The Meadows and Tabor will connect. I will connect it directly to this UN agenda. So that's one thing that might interest you a little bit. Here's another one. Changing Our Future. Alberta's Cancer Plan to 2030. Now I want you to notice something. Look at the title of this document is Changing Our Future, Alberta's Cancer Plan to 2030, right? The name of this UN agenda, the official name, Transforming Our World, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Transforming Our World, Changing Our Future, 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, Alberta's Cancer Plan to 2030. Coincidence? Of course not. And we'll get to that. And then a document that I just discovered today, actually, which actually caused me to redo this opening video over again because all of a sudden I realized a new key had just been unlocked that I probably didn't have to do all this kinds of research, but I'm kind of glad I did because I learned how to put the pieces together. And I can show you how to put the pieces together too. But this, Towards Canada's 2030 Agenda National Strategy. 17 Sustainable Development Goals, okay? So this is the way Canada is going to be implementing the UN agenda. These are just a few of the documents that we'll be going through. In this first part though, what I want to really get across first here is that not everything that is going on in these plans, in these 2030 agendas and these laid out plans is terrible. It's really not. Actually, a bunch of it I actually agree with and I think is great. But of course, they have to give you a little bit of good with the bad too, right? Or else you might complain too much about the bad. Another thing I want to mention before we get started is that this is all very coded language. The language that they use, the terms that they use, the way they phrase words, they try to make it sound as appealing and as friendly and as free and democratic as they possibly can, right? Oh, this is great. It's for your benefit. But I'm going to go through it. I'm going to show you how to read between those lines too. And I think you'll agree as we go through this stuff that it's pretty easy to detect once you know what you're looking for. They can use all the nice language they want, but there are some huge flaws in these programs that I'm going to point out to you. And there are some dangerous and scary things going on in these programs. To me, one of the scariest things when I discovered all of this stuff and really started putting these pieces together was it scared me that I now had proof. I could now prove that a local Tabor program that is being designed and advertised as this great thing, right? Oh, low income housing. It's affordable housing to try and get as many people into affordable housing as we can. It's not that simple, and it's certainly not that nice. But the fact that our town council went along with it and have been pushing this globalist agenda, and let me clarify, I don't think they knew. I don't think they knew when they were implementing this Meadows plan or when Mississauga was implementing their 9th line lands plan. This Alberta Cancer Plan, yeah, I think the provincial government absolutely knew. But I don't believe that our town council, when they instituted the Meadows or decided to do this program, I don't believe they knew that it was directly leading back to the 2030 agenda. It took me a while to find it, right? And I do this stuff a lot, investigation type stuff and putting pieces together. Prokop and them, they don't do that one bit. They never researched that one bit. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt on that. I don't think they knew that they were instituting globalism. But that being said, there are some red flags that they would have been aware of that I can also prove, which brings to mind one other document I want to show you. Developing a Community Sustainability Vision Toolkit. So of course, as you may be able to guess, that is also going to relate right back to our Meadows and right back to this sustainable development agenda by the UN. Well, we're going to start with this document, of course, because it is the most important document. And in order to prove that globalism exists, we have to prove that there's a global governing body, right? Can we prove that? Yes, we can. So this agenda was a resolution adopted by the General Assembly on 25th of September 2015. Okay, so who is on the UN General Assembly? The UN General Assembly includes 193 countries out of the 195 countries in the world are a part of the UN General Assembly. They all vote on it and they all get equal votes, each country. The only 2 countries on the face of the planet that are not part of this UN General Assembly and did not sign on to this, and they're called observer states, so they're still involved. They're not allowed to not be involved, right? The Holy See, it's called, SEE, never heard of it before, and the State of Palestine. Those are the only 2 countries out of the 195 countries in the world that are not on the UN General Assembly. Stephen Harper was our prime minister at the time this was adopted. Actually, he was voted out, and Justin Trudeau of the Liberal Party was put into power just 2 months after Stephen Harper had signed off on this. Oddly enough, September 2015, Trudeau took office November 2015. So just shows you, and Stephen Harper did some great things in this country. I think he did, and I think lots of people think that he did. But he signed on to this. He signed us onto this 2 months before he left office. Why? Why would he care, right? And why should these plans carry on? If we are voting Conservatives or Liberals or NDP or whatever, aren't we expecting that those parties are bringing something different to the table? And that's why there's the difference in parties and why we're voting for different parties? Guys, this stuff is proof that it's all a sham. It is all a sham. They're all on the same team. They're all pushing the same agendas. They're all pushing the same plans. Because this 2030 plan was put into place in 2015, which was 6 years ago. And it has been moving along full steam ahead ever since. And quite a few different political parties have been in power in the different countries involved, right? Yet they all follow this plan to a T. It's theater, guys. These world leaders are all on the same team together. They're putting on theater for us by pretending that there's a difference between them and that you can vote and make a difference. And that sounds bad, but it's true. It's true. So 193 out of the 195 countries in the world voted on this, okay, as they are part of the General Assembly, the UN General Assembly. Now, they say they believe that eradicating poverty is the world's greatest challenge. That's in their opening remarks here. And they list 3 dimensions of sustainable development: economic, social, and environmental. So sustainable development would mean ways that our society can move forward in these areas and be able to sustain our moving forward, right? They use terms like supremely ambitious, transformative, and bold when speaking of their goals for the world. Now, when you realize that 193 world leaders signed on to this stuff, I'm going to try and give you a little, because it's quite chilling to hear. All countries and all stakeholders acting in collaborative partnership will implement this plan. We are resolved to free the human race from the tyranny of poverty and to heal and secure our planet. We are determined to take the bold and transformative steps which are urgently needed to shift the world onto a sustainable and resilient path. They are determined to take bold and transformative steps without your say-so, by the way. It's just something they decided because they know better. As we embark on this collective journey, we pledge that no one will be left behind. That's literally what it says here, guys. So what that means is they ain't going to let any country in this world off the hook. They're making sure that every country is following their plan. That's literally what that means. And if you read it on its face, it doesn't sound so bad, right? As we embark on this collective journey, we pledge that no one will be left behind, right? It sounds like you're going on an adventure to go throw the ring into the fires of Mordor or something, right? No one's going to be left behind. No. What they're saying is, as the UN General Assembly, us 193 countries, so as the world, the global society implements these plans, we pledge that no one will be left behind. In other words, there's no way for your country to get out of this. We pledge that you're not getting out of this. They make it sound all sweet and nice, but it's not. It's really not. So, every world leader has agreed to these developments. They claim they seek equality and the eradication of poverty, a world free from violence and fear. In other words, they seek to take away from everyone and put the world on an equal footing, which is socialism, right? Socialism is the government owns the means of production. Capitalism is private ownership of the means of production, which means capitalism is the free market system, essentially. So you can start up a business, sell a product, and the markets and the quality of your product basically decides the price, right? Socialism, meanwhile, is, okay, it's usually the government comes in and says, oh, you guys can't handle your money. Oh, there's all these poor people. And that's what this is about, too, is they say, oh, there's all these poor people in the world, guys. You screwed it up. So here we are. We're the global government, and we're here to fix it for you. That's exactly what this is. And that's exactly what this language says. It's exactly what it says. But it's also what the Meadow says. Because the townspeople were not consulted on this whatsoever, were we? But the town council now owns 302 lots, which, by the way, when you're all done paying for them, and I've looked into this and can show you, each lot comes out to about $70,000 a piece. That's not including the home that you have to buy and then put on that lot. And the town of Tabor owns those lots. We worked it out to $25 million or something if you include the $70,000 from those 302 lots. $25 million the town council is going to be getting. And you could say, well, yeah, they'll use it to fix up schools or something, but will they? Will they though? Has that been happening so far? Money just seems to find black holes in these politicians' pockets and disappear. And I don't think that the local municipal government is abstained from that either. So guys, that's what this is globalism, global socialism. Of course, COVID-19 and these vaccines and all that, that's just another step in the same direction, right? But this, I'm going to take you guys to a much more personal level. It's going to hit close to home. When I bring this Tabor stuff into it, it's going to really open your eyes up, guys. It opened mine up. I didn't know this stuff before. When I started finding these connections and I started finding these programs, and then I could tie them back to the UN, and it's literally the same language and the same things they're saying in them, the same time frames and everything. It's not coincidence, right? Legally, they kind of have to put all this information out there, but who's going to go through all this stuff and research it and put it all together, right? Not very many people. Wackos like me. And it's because I don't know, I get a kick out of mysteries. I like solving mysteries, especially real life political mysteries. I'm pretty good at finding information, finding documents, reading between the lines, finding out what they're actually saying, and then proving it. And not to sound arrogant here, but this series is going to be my masterpiece, guys. This is my research masterpiece, I'm telling you. So, 17 sustainable development goals. We're going to go through those quickly, and then that'll be it for this first episode. I don't want to overwhelm people with too much information. Just want to try and retain everything that we're going to go through here so I can keep you guys up to speed with me. So here are the 17 sustainable development goals that are listed in this UN General Assembly document. Number 1 is end poverty in all its forms everywhere. Okay, so how? Well, by taking from those who have and giving to those who don't. To end poverty in all its forms everywhere means the government, this global government, has decided that they're going to put us all on equal footing on a global scale. How do you do that unless you take from those who have and give to those who don't? Right? And it's not just the millionaires and the billionaires that are affected by it, guys. And even that, I mean, in a free market system, they've earned their wealth, right? I have no problem with millionaires getting millions of dollars. I have no problem with billionaires getting billions of dollars. They came up with an idea and used their business sense and their intelligence and their knowledge of advertising and promotion to sell a product that made them rich. Isn't that what we all dream of? I have no beef with them because of that. It's that once they get all this money and power, it just really seems to go to their heads, and you know, they have the kind of money and power that they can literally control the world. And that's what they do. Number 2, end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. Food security. So what does that mean? No one goes without food, right? So like bread lines, like they have in Venezuela, or they're eating their pets, actually, in a lot of places because they can't get food. Rations. That's the only way, right? Sustainable, guys. This is all sustainable, right? So they're saying, oh, we're going to end hunger and achieve food security. Well, how? Well, we're going to sustain it by giving you less or giving more to these people or whatever else, right? It's these politicians and businessmen playing God over the entire world. And it's scary stuff, but it doesn't make it any less real. Number 3, ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. I mean, I'm okay with promoting well-being for all at all ages, but have they done that? With COVID? The vaccine, right? That's been their only medical solution. They weren't telling you about ivermectin unless it was talking it down as just being a horse dewormer, which is a total and blatant lie. They don't want you to know about the other cures for COVID and the other ways you can take care of yourself. Watch how quickly they censor you when you try to talk about it. But when they say ensure, right? Ensure healthy lives and promote well-being. Ensure, like demand, command, make law. Ensure. When a global governing body is saying that, I don't like that. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Ensure inclusive and equitable quality education. Ensure inclusive education. So meaning colleges or universities, right? Or high schools, all that stuff, I'm sure. And here's the thing. How are they not inclusive already? How are colleges and universities and high schools not inclusive already? Are they screening people at the door that are black and saying, sorry, you're black, you can't come to university now? No, they're not. So why do you need to ensure inclusive education? What that means is, oh, we need this percentage of black people to be in this class. We need this percentage of Native American people to be in this class. We need this percentage of Asian people. We need this percentage of women. We need this of this. We need this of this. It's just micromanaging, and it's insane, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. We don't need to be divided any further, and that's what this is all about. So it's all about ensure inclusive education. No, by taking away, okay, education and the system as it is, yeah, and education is really expensive. You have to take student loans. It could definitely be worked on. I'm not saying it couldn't. But I do not think they're screening people based on their skin color or their gender. I don't believe that that's happening, unless it's happening in the opposite way, if you know what I'm saying. So by pushing diversity harder than ever, right? Notice that in the world, that they're pushing diversity harder than ever and promoting all these other cultures, but not the white man. And you know what? It's fine. I don't need them to promote the white man, but I'm not really sure that Native Americans want themselves to be plastered all over everything and used as the excuse for the government all the time either. Or black people or Asians or whoever. I don't think they like that either. I wouldn't. I don't want to be the victim of or the puppet of the government, you know? Number 5, achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. No, I'm not kidding. It literally says that. Now, I don't have a problem with empowering women and girls, of course not. But slowly listen to this sentence. Achieve gender equality, which would mean men and women on the level plane, right? And empower all women and girls. Wouldn't you want to be empowering both genders if you wanted to achieve gender equality? You don't think there's gender equality? For instance, and I'm just using this as an example. For instance, if a man and a woman have a child together, say, and they split up, right, get divorced or break up as a couple or whatever else, and they go their separate ways, who wins the custody of those kids? 99.99999% of the time, right? In divorce settlements, who wins out? Well, the woman gets half the stuff, right? That's how it goes. And you could say, well, yeah, the man can too. Yeah, if he's a stay-at-home man that doesn't own anything, then yes, he could turn the tides on the woman and say, okay, well, I want half your stuff. But how many times do you think that's happened? I could probably count on one hand. It's not a very common situation, right? It does happen. But in either way, it's not right. In either way, it's not right. Basically, what my point is, though, is achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. By what? By breaking down males again, like they continue to do. And I'm not complaining about it. I don't need the government to tell me I'm awesome. I pretty much know that already. Just like most guys should, and girls. I don't need the government empowering me. I'll empower myself, thank you. But when the government wants to reach into this and achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls, that's an oxymoron in itself. And it's ridiculous that they put this in an official document. They must really think people are stupid. Number 6, ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all, which is not a bad thing, of course, right? This also ties into Tabor, and I'm sure some of you probably already know what I'm talking about. The wastewater treatment plant up by the cemetery, right where the Meadows is kind of at, and right where that path is, and yeah, it all ties together. We'll get there eventually. Number 7. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. I'm all right with that. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. But I don't know about you, but my energy bills have been going through the roof lately. In fact, didn't they just double in carbon tax and all that crap's happening now? So they really haven't done a very good job of ensuring access to affordable modern energy for all, have they? But by 2030, apparently they plan to. You'd think they'd want to start sometime soon. Number 8, promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth. Full and productive employment and decent work for all. This one, guys. This one. This is Socialism 101. Promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth. Inclusive economic growth? Look, I don't have anything against any other races. I don't have anything against any other genders. I think everybody should be treated equally. I think everybody should be judged, not treated equally. I think everyone should be judged according to their character. And that's how I try to judge everyone. I give you the benefit of the doubt and I give you respect until you've done something to not earn that anymore. That goes across all races and all genders. I treat them all the same. I really do. But when they keep using this stuff, inclusive economic growth, what does that mean? What does that mean? Do you know why countries over in Africa are not inclusive with their people? Why the people don't make any money and the government all does, or these rebel groups all do? You know why that is? Because the people over there literally won't let them have it. The kings over in Africa of some of those countries, they are greedy, disgusting people that don't care if people starve as long as they get some more money and some more food on their plates and more cars in their garage. And that is how a lot of the other side of the world is. We're really not exposed to that over here in Canada with the United States as our neighbors, right? But that's the truth, guys, is we have lived in a very good, free area for a long time. We're heading the way of the third world country. And I just hope people remember what third world countries are all about. But full and productive employment and decent work for all. So the government wants to institute full and productive employment and decent work for all. There's plenty of jobs out there. People don't want them. So what are you saying? You're going to assign jobs, government? Of course, that's what they're saying, right? Socialism. They'll assign the jobs. They'll make sure everybody's got work. They'll make sure everybody's got reliable energy. We'll make sure everybody's this. We'll make sure everybody's that. They want to play God. And they want you to give up all your rights and freedoms in order for them to do that because they believe they know what's best for you and your family. And I think they actually truly believe they know what's best, but they don't. This isn't what I want. I don't think it's what many or any of you want either. But we didn't get a say, did we? Just the elites and the powerfuls did. That's the truth. Number 9, build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, whatever that means, and foster innovation. I mean, I'm not really going to break that one down much more than that. It's just government, control, right? Oh, we're going to help you guys. We're going to make your lives better. Just let us make all your lives better. We swear we'll do it. No, they won't, as we can see. Number 10, reduce inequality within and among countries. That's a scary one a little bit, isn't it? Reduce inequality within and among countries. You know why there's inequality within and among countries? Because they don't have the same resources. They don't have the same workforce. They don't have the same, I don't know how to put it. They don't have the same industries. That's why. Just like this wage gap lie, right? That there's a wage gap between men and women. Well, no, there could be, but it's easily explained in the types of jobs that both sexes do. And of course, this is not trying to be sexist, but men are like 99% more likely to do jobs that will get them killed on the job site. They do the dangerous jobs, the hardworking jobs on in general, right? Of course, there's women that do hard labor jobs like men and vice versa of men doing women type jobs. But in general, right? That's the way it works. That's why there's an income gap, guys. It's crazy. It's crazy, isn't it? So when they want to reduce this income gap, we could say, between countries, there's only one way they're doing that again, guys. Taking from those who have and giving to those who have not. That means taking from us, because we have, here in Canada and the United States, we have better than most countries do, and we have for a very long time. You know why? Because our ancestors bled for it, and fought for it, and died for it, and worked for it, and earned it. They can earn it too. And I got no problem helping other countries and helping other cultures and doing things like that. But we need to be helping them help themselves, not doing it for them, or not leveling the playing field by taking away from us to give to them. No, you teach them how to do what we're doing, and then you put the tools in their hands and you let them do the work. Because as we all know, nobody learns anything from not doing anything and just getting shit handed to you, right? Nobody. We all remember those kids in high school that they had the rich parents, right? That would give their kids like a brand new $50,000, $60,000 truck to drive to school when they turned 16. I don't know if you guys have any experience with that, but growing up in Tabor, that was very common, at least when I was growing up around here. Those kids were useless and lazy in general. Why? Because they never had to do anything. It was handed to them. And most of them now really don't have a career or anything going for them. They're the ones that I know anyways, and I'm just saying that. Right? It's you don't give to someone and say, "Oh, here, just take this." Because it doesn't teach them anything. Then they just sit there with their hands out expecting to get something. And then when that something doesn't come, then they can't feed themselves anymore, right? We need to teach how to feed ourselves, how to sustain ourselves, develop ourselves. Apparently I only wrote up to 11 here, so I will refer to the booklet itself beyond that. Goal 11. They start to get a little scarier now. Make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Now, on the surface, maybe that sounds good, doesn't it? Think of it this way, though. Make cities and human make them inclusive. Oh, you guys don't have enough Afghanis in your population. Oh, you guys don't have enough Sikhs in your neighborhood. Oh, you guys don't have enough blacks in your little town. And like I said, I'm not racist. I'm not hating on a race. But what I'm saying is they don't need to be playing God like this. Just let people naturally do what they do and flock to where they flock. People will find their people and find a way through this, right? People need to get more credit for how we look after each other, because in a lot of ways we do. Look at our garage sale we had. $1,600 we raised in that garage sale in 2 days. That was all from donations from people from this town. People will help each other out and pull through when the time comes. You just have to give them the chance. These guys are like, we'll just force it. That doesn't work. That makes one side unhappy all the time and fosters division. Make these human settlements inclusive, safe. So what does that mean? Gun control? Safe? I think they're safe the more of us that we have that have guns, right? Because if a criminal breaks into your house with a gun, do you want to have a gun or not have a gun? Pretty easy choice, right? And if you're a criminal breaking into a house, are you going to be more liable to break into a house if you don't really know for sure if they're packing a pistol or not? Right? That's why Texas and those places, they got it right in a lot of ways. Goal 12, ensure, there's that ensure word again, sustainable consumption and production patterns. That's terrifying too. Ensure sustainable consumption. So how much you consume, they want to ensure that it's sustainable. Well, you're the one selling it to us, aren't you? So if it's not sustainable, why are you selling it to us and making it in bulk? But they want to ensure sustainable consumption. Well, talk to your crony friends sitting in these CEO offices that are responsible for what we consume. Why are you coming to us for it, right? And production patterns, like ensure. Okay, so they want to own the means of production. That's literally what they're telling you. Socialism, people. 101. Global socialism. Proved. I could literally end the series right here. But I'm going to get much deeper. Goal 13, take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. I don't even want to address that one. The climate change thing is beyond ridiculous to 99% of us, so I'm just going to leave that one be. Goal 14, conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. Conserve and sustainably use them for sustainable development. I'm okay with that. Except for the fact that, once again, this is government deciding what we can use, who can use what we can do with what we can do with what. We have to get away from the system of one political party or one group thinking they can make all the decisions. People need to have a say, and our voices need to be heard. That's not how it goes anymore. We elect someone that's supposed to be our spokesperson, but you know damn well they're not our spokesperson. That needs to change. Goal 15. protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. Well, it's all about like maintaining the planet and the environment and stuff like that, as far as I can tell, right? I got no problem with that. We should be working on ways to sustain our environment. I have no problems with that. But I don't want a government dictated to me, along with all this other crap, telling me that, we need to make inclusive economic growth and all this stuff. No, just let economic growth go. Let the free market system work its way. It's been proven to be the best system in the world, guys. That's why millions of immigrants have flocked to Canada and the United States over the last however long. They all flock over here. Why? Because we have what is used to be referred to as the American dream, that if you work hard and you try hard, that you can get ahead in life. That's as good as it gets, guys. Unless you want handouts from the government, which is socialism, which comes along with a whole other load of problems. And you have to take all these other problems along with that, just so you know. Goal 16, promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Man, they just keep ramming that inclusive word down your throat, don't they? Forcing inclusivity on you. That's not how being inclusive works. It's something that has to come from people's hearts to be inclusive. And I think people, as a society, as a whole, I think we have, in general. The only real place you find racism anymore, guys, is in the prison systems in the United States, when they divide each other up by white gangs and black gangs. That's literally the only place that exists anymore. Or like the swamps of Louisiana with some backwater hick. That's what the Ku Klux Klan is now. Like these groups, the racism is dead. It's dead for the most part. And it gets snuffed out if it does get found real quick. We don't need to be forcing this inclusivity thing like they are. But promote peaceful and inclusive societies. So promote peaceful societies. Well, how? How can you have them peaceful and inclusive? Because when you mix two cultures together sometimes, it causes chaos. It causes no-go zones. It causes sanctuary cities. How are those doing? That's what a peaceful and inclusive society looks like in their eyes. It doesn't work, guys. And they know it doesn't work, but they want you to think that it's going to work. Provide access to justice for all. How's the access to justice been during COVID? How's that been? There's been no justice for any of this stuff. So they're just talking out one end, the wrong end. And build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. It's just too much inclusive. I'm going to stop there. It's making me sick. Goal 17, strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. This might be the scariest of them. Strengthen the means of implementation. That means make it easier for us to do our job more effectively, to implement these strategies more effectively. That's one of their main goals. It's their last goal, is to strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. That means reawaken the push for globalism. Revitalize the global partnership, globalism. That's the final goal. Goal 17, globalism. Global partnership for sustainable development. Sounds great on its face, guys. It's not.